This is a narrative and visual analysis of the Kojiro Shinomiya Shokugeki. Let's start with the context. Shinomiya is an alum and former Elite 10 member who is known for expelling students. This is a hint towards his values. He also specializes in cooking with vegetables. The first problem is the exercise to cook a specific dish. Failure leads to expulsion. Within that problem, there are two mini problems. The first is that all the good cauliflowers have been taken. Megumi initially plans to solve them by asking Soma for help, but that leads to the second mini problem. Any kind of teamwork results in an automatic failure in this exercise. Megumi solves the vegetable problem on her own, avoiding failure and showing character development. She finishes the dish, completing the exercise, but Shinomiya fails her anyway. The tone switched from negative when she was struggling, to positive when she finished in the nick of time, to negative when she failed. It's revealed that the reason she failed was that she changed the recipe to save the color of the cauliflower. Even though it tasted good, Shinomiya didn't give her permission to do that, so he failed her. So now we know Shinomiya's values. Shinomiya reveals that he intentionally put bad cauliflowers to limit the number of students who pass, further developing his values. He is a strict and harsh mentor who doesn't care about fairness. He values pure obedience. This clashes with Soma's values since he's about justice, fairness, and creative expression. The tone keeps getting more and more negative as Shinomiya threatens to fire Soma too. Then we get a shot of Megumi crying, then flashback shots of her, and then a tone reversal. Soma challenges Shinomiya to a Shokugeki to save Tadokoro. But this attack is charged up by Soma asking a vague question, Shinomiya asking for clarification, and Soma directly saying Shokugeki. That is how episode 10 ends. So far, we have character development for Megumi and Shinomiya, a clash of values between Soma and Shinomiya, which is a potential theme, and the stakes set. If Soma loses, both he and Tadokoro will be expelled, which has been established as the worst fate in the story. In episode 11, we get the Shokugeki. This is the main obstacle. There are 3 judges, 1 Inui as a spectator, and Dojima is overseeing the battle. The main ingredient is vegetables, which is Shinomiya's specialty, so the heroes are at a disadvantage. Putting the heroes out of their depth and then having them claw their way to victory is a very powerful technique seen in other battle manga, like Team 7 in the Chunin exams, or the Ryoka fighting Soul Society and the captains. Then, another rule is added. Megumi is the main chef and has to decide on the recipe. This adds even more pressure because Soma is clearly the superior cook, but this also forces her to develop her competency even more. If she can pass this test, solve this problem, she will have leveled up as a person and a cook. The tone is negative as Megumi panics and Shinomiya mocks her. Her narration of his legendary backstory increases pressure. She starts hyperventilating, but then Soma claps her hands, resetting the tone back to neutral. Soma gives her a motivational speech as the main theme starts to play, moving the tone towards positive. He tells her to make the dish that represents her. After a flashback of Tadokoro and her mom, she decides on a dish. The story cuts out her specific mention of the dish to create suspense for when they reveal it at the end. Whenever I talk about the X Factor ability to make anything interesting or engaging, Food Wars is my go-to example. A prominent example in my history is when I said that Vinland Saga didn't make its farming in season 2 interesting, despite spending a lot of time on it. I said anything could be made interesting if Food Wars made cooking interesting. Sports are exciting to me in real life, so making a sports story entertaining isn't that hard. However, cooking in real life is not exciting to me, so Food Wars' ability to make cook-offs as exciting as a sports match is pure brilliance. I am breaking down the atomic secrets to that brilliance in this video. Within the bigger problem, we have many problems. As Megumi prepares the tomatoes, a small problem arises because she forgot the meat. This is solved by Soma, who already covered that, showing that he's an elite sous chef. The tone remains neutral as the two communicate efficiently. Soma is like a playmaker, making his allies better when he works with them. Megumi's inner monologue and the spectator's dialogue deliver this info, hyping up Soma. This makes the tone positive. Then, both dishes are served. Shinomiya goes first. The explanations from the judges hype up the dish. I know they're polarizing, but the foodgasms are necessary. They provide a dramatic and metaphorical execution of how good the food is. This isn't sports or fighting, so understanding how impressive something is proves to be much more difficult. Taste isn't the easiest thing to explain, so each foodgasm has a unique visual representation that makes every dish feel distinct despite the fact that the audience is just looking at it. The further explanation of the cooking logic further hypes up the competency of the dish. More explanation of his backstory hypes Shinomiya up even more. All of this lets the audience know just how dangerous the opponent in front of us is. In episode 12, Megumi presents her dish. The tone is neutral but nervous as the judges taste. Then it turns to negative with the flashbacks of her failing grades and the current stakes. The music supports this. Then, the tone reverses to positive when all the judges enjoy it. They have the same explanations of the cooking and taste. Her cooking used innovation and what she learned from her mom, a payoff to Soma telling her to make a dish that represents her. Notice how I didn't mention foodgasms. The fact that they didn't have such an extreme reaction to her cooking hints that she's going to lose because it wasn't as good as her opponents. Foodgasms can be the litmus test for who will win a cook-off. As the judges vote, which person they are voting is obscured, creating a neutral but suspenseful tone. Megumi's inner monologue about how she's changed alongside flashbacks add emotion to the scene. When she opens her eyes, it's a negative reversal. All 3 coins are placed in Shinomiya's plate. Soma's consolation, Megumi's tears, the flashbacks, and the music make the scene sad. As Shinomiya leaves, another reversal happens. Dojima puts a coin in Megumi's plate. The tone is neutral as Shinomiya argues that Dojima isn't a judge. The latter exposes the fact that the elitist alum is in a rut. The flashback shows what he's talking about. It explains how Shinomiya got his values of ruthless strictness due to his restaurant almost closing. That ruthlessness got him the Blue Pole award he was aiming for when he graduated. Dojima reveals that Shinomiya had stagnated after reaching all of his goals, therefore his cooking has hit a wall. Because of Dojima's suggestion, Shinomiya tastes what Tadokoro cooked. The tone is initially negative as he criticizes it, but it reverses to positive when he says it speaks to his heart. He provides his own unique metaphor for her cooking, which connects to his childhood. He says that it tastes like a mother's love as he gives his vote to Megumi and a single tear falls. It's so cinematic, but we're not done yet. The tone goes to neutral as Shinomiya asks about her cooking decision. Her explanation shows the amount of consideration she showed for all the judges eating her food. Her spice choice aided in digestion since the judges had been taste testing all day. This executes her kind personality and values through her actions and problem solving. Her cooking style is about hospitality. The tone fades into positive as Shinomiya realizes he's been shutting everyone out and cooking by himself. This is a character arc for him. Finally, Inui places a coin in Megumi's plate, making the score 3-3. Since it's a tie, Megumi and Soma aren't expelled. The alumni definitely cheated and twisted the rules with the 3 extra coins. However, the character and theme writing is so powerful and the extra judges were technically set up ahead of time, thus softening the blow of the flaw. Inui, Dojima, and Shinomiya didn't just pop out of nowhere. They were there even before the 3 official judges. It's not perfect, but it works. A major flaw behind cook-offs is that there is very little room for problem solving or counters. Both sides make their dishes independent of each other and then the judges taste and vote. Soma doesn't try to get around this. Instead, it focuses on emotional manipulation through tone reversals and character development to enhance the experience of the cook-off. Megumi has backstory, personality, values, and actions developed in this fight. She even has a mini arc of gaining more confidence and competence. Shinomiya has backstory, personality, values, and actions all developed here as well. He also has a positive arc influenced by Megumi, and he has an ideological battle against Megumi and Soma. All of this character development is delivered excellently throughout the story. The situation that Megumi is placed in forces her to develop, which is great writing. Tone reversals are the strongest weapon under emotional manipulation that Shokugeki uses. Even though there aren't counters, the act of cooking and judging is still entertaining because the tone keeps suddenly shifting between positive and negative. Megumi panicking and Soma motivating her, Megumi forgetting details and Soma covering for her, Megumi initially failing and then Dojima creating a comeback. All of these moments use reversals brilliantly. The last reversal is supported with strong character development, creating an even stronger impact. The fight also had a couple of moments to hype up Ninomiya and Yukihira, usually through narration or monologues. The choice to cut out the dish and reveal it at the end created suspense and payoff. The charged attack building up to Soma's challenge was powerful. The stakes were established excellently throughout the episodes. All of this was great directing and emotional manipulation. This exposes another issue I have with tournaments. Megumi failed Ninomiya's test, and that result created the problem of Soma's Shokugeki. That's good result chaining. Ninomiya failing her wasn't an objective result. It was a choice rooted in his values. Soma challenging him to a duel was also a choice rooted in his beliefs, not a foregone conclusion. The plot is shaped by characters. The clash of values amplifies the theme. When Soma introduces tournaments, choices based on characters and themes don't really matter anymore. Soma doesn't choose his opponents/problems based on his values. They are chosen for him by the bracket. The results of his cook-offs or choices don't have chained problems based on other character choices or development. They are decided based on who wins the bracket. Not only does the plot become stagnant and predictable, but the importance of choice and character development is reduced or removed. So the plot on its own is very simple and kinda underwhelming. But the character and theme development paired with flair like reversals, charged attacks, and monologues make the entire experience wonderful. It's emotional manipulation and great directing. If you look at a movie's credits, you see the roles of director, screenwriter, cinematographer, and composer. As a manga artist, achieving this X factor requires the combination of screenwriting and cinematography skills. Microscopic writing decisions and shot selection can make huge differences. Since the director chooses the screenwriter and cinematographer and occasionally fills in those roles themselves, you have to be a manga director. Tsukuda and Saiki pulled off this amazing experience in Shokugeki no Soma by being elite manga directors. Elite directing is how you make anything interesting. Subscribe for more academic analysis on anime.